Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about one of the most financially critical questions you will ever face in your career. Seriously, how you answer this one little question can literally change the entire financial path of your life.
You know the moment that email pops up or you're on that first phone screen and then they drop it. So, what are your salary expectations? It feels so simple, right? But your answer, right there in that moment, can be worth thousands, heck, even tens of thousands of dollars.
And no, I'm not exaggerating. Check this out. The data shows that people who actually negotiate their salary, they get an average increase of nearly 19% from their first offer. That's not just a little bump. That is a massive opportunity.
All right, section 1. So why is this question so tricky? Well, here's the secret. It's not a friendly chat. It's the opening move in a negotiation. It's a trap, and you have to understand the rules of the game to avoid it.
Here's the problem. When you name your salary first, you're basically just guessing. You have no idea what they're really willing to pay. And get this, a staggering 87% of hiring managers admit it. They use your number to figure out the absolute maximum they'll offer you. So you think you're setting a floor, but you're actually setting a ceiling.
And here's exactly how that trap works. Let's imagine the company actually budgeted $95,000 for this job. But you want to seem reasonable, right? So you say you're looking for around $80,000. Boom. Just like that. You've left 15 grand sitting on the table.
And it gets so much worse. That one little mistake, that $15,000, it snowballs like crazy. In just 5 years, that's $75,000 in lost money. And that's not even counting how it affects your future raises and bonuses. It's a huge, long-term financial hit, all from one little sentence.
Okay, so you get the trap. Now for the good part, how do we avoid it? Let's get right into your playbook. I'm going to give you the exact scripts you can use to take back control. It all comes down to 3 simple but really powerful strategies. You can use them at different points in the interview process. Think of them as your secret weapons: the polite deflection, the strategic range, and the confident flip.
All right, first up, the polite deflection. This is your go-to move for that first phone screen. You're basically saying, hey, I'm not ready to talk numbers yet. You're politely pushing the question back to them so you don't get stuck with a low number before you even know what the job is really about. Okay, but what if you're further along and they're really pushing for a number? That's when you use the strategic range. Now listen up, because this is the most important part. The salary you actually want, that should be the bottom number of the range you give. So if you want 100K, you say something like, I'm looking in the 100 to 115K range. It totally anchors them to your real target. And finally, the flip. This one's a bit bolder. If they just won't let it go, you confidently flip the question right back at them. And guess what? It works. The data shows that people who do this successfully end up with offers that are, on average, 7% higher. Okay, section 3. Now, let me be super clear. None of these awesome scripts will work if you're just making stuff up on the spot. Real confidence comes from doing your homework. This is the pregame prep. You've got to become an expert on what you are worth. That means you're hitting up multiple sites like Glassdoor and PayScale. You're adjusting for where you live. New York is not Austin, right? And this is key. You need to write down your wins. How much money did you save your last company? How much revenue did you bring in? That's your ammo.
All right, so knowing what to say is half the battle, but honestly, knowing what not to do is just as important. Let's talk about the common mistakes, the landmines that can totally blow up your negotiation.
Think of these as the absolute non-negotiable rules. Rule 1, never ever tell them your current salary. In a lot of places, it's actually illegal for them to even ask. Rule 2, don't you dare apologize for negotiating. And Rule 3, when they give you an offer, always say, thank you, let me take 24 hours to review this. It makes you look thoughtful and gives you time to breathe and plan your counter.
And look, let's just be honest for a second. This whole thing can feel super uncomfortable. The data shows it, especially for women, but you have to change how you think about it. This is not a fight. It's just business. It's a standard professional practice, and you're simply advocating for your own value. That's it.
Okay, this brings us to the final and honestly the most important part. Why does this one conversation matter so much? Well, it's not about your next paycheck. It's about your entire financial life. Just look at this. This is the power of compounding in action. That tiny little $10,000 difference in your starting salary, it's not just $10,000. Oh no. With just a few small raises, it explodes to over $50,000 in 5 years. And over a whole career,
We're talking $500,000 or more. It's mind-blowing.
And here is your secret weapon. Over half of all workers, 54%, never negotiate. They just take the first thing that's offered. So by simply being ready to have this conversation, you are already leagues ahead of most other people out there.
So what do you do now? Here's your action plan. Super simple. 1. Spend a couple of hours doing your research. 2. Practice. Say these scripts out loud until they feel like your own words. 3. Know your walkaway number. And 4. Have that list of your accomplishments ready to go.
I want you to burn this into your brain. Negotiating is expected. It's professional. It is not confrontational. Good companies expect good candidates to negotiate. It shows you know your worth, and that's a huge positive, not a negative.
So I'll leave you with this one last thought. The next time a recruiter asks for your salary expectations, what will getting that conversation right be worth to your future? Now you know how much is at stake, and more importantly, now you have the playbook to go out and get it.